And what's up again, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into our second night here of the second round of BOILeR Season 2 playoffs. All the twos everywhere. What is up with this? Anyways, let me get some music going. Let me flip this on over. We got ourselves a really good matchup yet again. On the left-hand side, your number 6 seed, TheLogcat, is going to be taking on the number 1 seed in the AFC, still undefeated, last year's returning champion, Mr. Cobaltstreak. So, as you can see, this looks a little different than normal tonight. Cobalt got to choose the rules. Let me flip this on over really quickly. We'll get this linked up in chat, but I'm going to show you real fast here on screen what our rules are. We're going to race as a blue baby. No carry items allowed, so no knife, no brimstone, no blue candle, no soul heart spawning items. I'm going to flip this back over because they're off and running here, so let me get this back on here. We'll get it linked up in chat. But it's basically Jim Drizzle's rules from last time. So no carry items, no soul heart spawning items, no map items except for the treasure map are allowed, which that's weird that that's in there, but whatever. Oh, speaking of those banned items, hi Miter on the left-hand side. So like I said, right off the bat, there's one of them. Let me keep listing this all through for you here as I can actually bring these up on my computer otherwise. So, like I said, no compass, no crystal ball, no emperor cards, so no teleporting directly to boss fights. That's going to play a little bit interesting, I'll tell you that right now. This makes to actually go through all the floors real fun. Now, the trick to this, why they're resetting so much. Rule number 1, you have to take all passive items you come across. So anything like that Ouija board that Cobalt just saw, he would have had to take and be off with that run. Unless, again, we allow resets at the beginning. Anytime you want to, you can reset your run if you're not happy. So they're starting off looking for something good that they can get rolling with. After that, it's kind of fair game. Speed. LogCat gonna take Roid Rage, it looks like, so he's happy enough with that unicorn horn he's got, and he's off and running here into his first boss against Duke of Flies. So, getting back to these rules, notice the space use item flipped out already. Not only do you have to take all passive items, but if you see another space use item, you have to replace the one that you currently have. Notice that LogCat is also eating pills. That's rule number 3. Any unidentified pill that you can get yourself to, you have to eat immediately. So, you can find all sorts of bad stuff, like LogCat just hurt himself a little bit there with a bad trip. Lo and behold. On this note, Cobalt's off and running on the right-hand side. He's got himself Robo Baby to follow around, so not exactly the greatest, but he knows he's actually trailing a little bit at this point, so he's off and running over to his first boss fight already here. He's against Larry Jr. Actually, Robo Baby going to help out considerably in this fight. Yeah, the resets exactly, like Flying was saying, you almost basically have to accept that at the beginning because unless somebody throws it in the rules that there's no resets allowed, you just have to run with it. I'd accept that quite honestly, but nobody's thrown that in the rules yet. Ooh, perfect item off of a boss fight for Cobaltstreak, so fire rate increase with Squeezy, let alone you saw those 2 soul hearts. And this is where it's going to get interesting. On the left-hand side, LogCat into his item room has to replace that unicorn horn. Not a terrible replacement for it with Mom's pad. But he's going to be able to freeze enemies, have them basically magnetized away from him for a good, I believe it's 5 seconds. But has immediately found a second boss fight as well, so moving on in, he'll take on Gertie Jr., and there's that effect on Mom's pad, pushing her away from LogCat. So he'll line up this bomb, 40 damage off of that, and there's a good chunk of health off of her right at the beginning. Very nicely done. Especially for this tough of a boss fight on the 2nd floor, it's well worth expending your bombs here. Ooh, Cobalt into a challenge room. He's actually going to take all these. And again, if you go into a challenge room, you have to take any passive or space use item that you see there. So Cobalt walking in sees those pills. He's going to have a lot of pills to be eating because, again, rule number 3, you eat all unidentified pills. Ooh, that devil deal looks so nice, but it would have taken LogCat down to just 1/2 a blue heart remaining, so has to passive on money equals power and Guppy's head there. And again, not an easy thing to do, especially this early on. Money equals power could have been very nice for him. At least he can get the poop. Touché. So, Cobaltstreak on the right-hand side, just about done with this challenge room. And again, has those 3 pills he's going to have to go through as long as they are unidentified. So Log finishing off his Wrath fight. And again, Log is ahead right now. He's in Caves 1, technically Catacombs 1, the expansion version of it. But these are very, very short floors. Alright, so Cobalt working through these un-ID'd pills. Ooh, fire rate increase yet again. Bad gas. And bombs are key, so he flipped out those 3 keys he has at a pretty bad time for bombs. And again, has no keys left at this point now when he does come across this item room, which should be very soon. Again, I should point out another portion of these rules. If you go into a devil deal, again, you don't have to take passive items or space use items. Devil deals are your choice, so are stores. So you don't see, or you'll see in this case, Cobalt probably isn't going to bother with that store for having a lack of keys. And yep, Cobalt got to choose these rules. So let me link these up again, just in case anybody's missing out on any of those. There's your links on Imager that'll get you to those rule pages. I swear my headset needs to stop dying on me. There we go. Alright, no key for Cobalt, so let's see. There's really no way he's getting into that item room unless you get a box of items at the end of this, which that would be pretty darn lucky because you're fighting against everybody's favorite horseman, let's all say. To Famine, if you would. Cobalt's gonna wind up with a cube of meat at the end of this fight. Therein lies the joke. There's nothing else you get from this. What's up, Kirkosa? How you doing? There's all those haze. Again, you have to have a Taku's chat add-on to actually see that, but those are actually emotes in there. Alright, there's that cube of meat orbiting around Cobaltstreak. That'll block shots for him, as well as do contact damage of basically double your base tier damage. Not on Blue Baby, I take that back. There's difference of damage from Isaac, but it does 7 damage to anything it comes in contact with. So TheLogcat finally finding his third item room here, not the greatest of things. He comes across Holy Water that's going to follow behind him. If that were Cobaltstreak who picked it up, that would actually, I don't want to say glitch out Robo Baby, but it would turn it into Brother Bobby until such time as that's spilled. If you get hit, that Holy Water spills in a circular pattern on the ground, and anything that walks through it's going to wind up taking damage. You excluded. You don't take damage from it. And speaking of Horsemen, we got Pestilence for TheLogcat, so he'll wind up with a cube of meat himself here to orbit around blocking shots. Cobalt went into his secret room, as you may have saw. Ooh, got kind of lucky here, too. Went into his secret room, though, wound up with a 1-up, so if Cobalt dies, he comes back to life. Still is the Blue Baby, and I believe that gives you 3 soul hearts. I almost said 3 red hearts. Should give you 3 soul hearts, though, if that's the case. So great find and pickup right there. Sorry, that was my ankle. Anyways, last little bit of damage to do here to Pestilence. There was that cube of meat for TheLogcat, and again, he'll be on down to his Caves 2 here. Finally, with the key, Cobalt's going to backtrack for this item room on Caves 1. And in this, ooh, Lard, alright, interesting. So lots of health up for him. Getting a little bit of speed down, so he is kind of dragging at this point, and really going to have to hope he doesn't come across any speed down pills, should that be the case. Heck, even at that point, the small rock could actually really hinder Cobaltstreak a ton at this point, and he would have to take it by the rule set. So again, this is going to get very interesting before the night's over. Alright, good use of a bomb by TheLogcat, picking up a few extras there. And again, working on that 1 floor advantage at the moment. It's not too much. Cobalt just needs to find his boss fight. Let alone there's that Holy Water spill and logged down to just the 1 blue heart here. Rusted key for Cobaltstreak, now more chance that he gets key spawns, which, as you notice, he doesn't have any at the moment, so that's actually a perfectly timed trinket on his side. Oh, look at that, the poop actually produced a penny. It does happen. And speaking of un-ID'd pills, once again we got bombs or keys, so TheLogcat just flipped out his 7 bombs to now keys on his side. Ooh, almost good timing on that. Actually spilled the Holy Water, just barely. Though hit bomb's pad to actually push everything away from him, as you saw. Down to half a heart, though, as TheLogcat. Yep, whoever's got the higher rank coming into the games within the playoffs always gets to choose what character they use and what rule set they race by. So tonight Cobalt got to choose, and let me get that linked out. He actually chose those rules right there on Imager. Speaking of that, Cobalt moving on down to his 3rd floor now. Excuse me, his Caves 2. Excuse me, that's 4th floor, and I'd math really, really good tonight. Anyways, his 4th floor Caves 2, so he's catching up to TheLogcat very quickly here. And again, has to take those passive items. If you go into a challenge room of some sort, you're pretty much going to have to go through it, because unless it's a great chest in there, or a lock chest for that matter, you're pretty much going to have to take it and go through these. So a little bit more time spent for Cobaltstreak, but picks up a card and that magic 8-ball for a shot speed increase. Same thing you just got with that Cat of 9 Tails. Yep, and we're going through the Cathedral today, that's correct. So still your best 2 out of 3, got to kill off Isaac at the end of the Cathedral to get your win. Yeah, you math good and I emote good. We're a hell of a pair, Adder. Alright, so Speed Belt over... Speed Belt, I always call it that. It's the belt over on TheLogcat's side on the left. So he's going to have to take that. That'll give him more movement speed. Again, at this point, Cobalt wouldn't mind finding something like that in a locked chest. Ahem, passive item. Ahem, passive item. Logcat, passive item, bro. So he's going for the pills that he knows he has to take, so that's one of the rules right there. Ooh, although hit himself over those nails, so ouch. All the way back to the beginning, didn't matter about that. He would have had to pick up that belt anyways, though, was the point I was making. So all the way back to the beginning on Log's side. And again, now that puts Cobalt well in the lead here at Escapes 2, let alone still holding on to his 1-up. Also still has 6 blue hearts remaining at the moment. And looking at an arcade where maybe you get kind of lucky. See if that happens to be a fortune-telling machine, and it is. So that almost requires you to spend some time gambling at that point. If you see a purple fortune-telling machine, you're going to have a good chance of getting not just cards, but soul hearts and trinkets out of it. So especially as Blue Baby this week, well, and then it does something like give you the Lover's card where you get red hearts, which are completely unattainable on your Blue Baby run. Gotta love when that happens. So 2 of clubs will double up the amount of bombs that Cobalt's holding on to, so he'll use up the one he has, then be able to use his card whenever he wants to and give himself a couple extras. So it'll wind up giving you 2 if you have 0. There's that definition of the Devil Deal glitch. Basically, if you can make yourself invincible as a Blue Baby, you can take whatever you want free of charge. Almost free of charge, in some cases, on the Devil Deals. So we made that outlawed. Well, Cobalt. I keep saying we. Cobalt made that outlawed today. And again, speaking of Cobalt, just picked up growth hormones. I hate saying those words. Hormones is so hard for me to say. I have no idea why. But that's damage up and speed increase. So, like I said, finally getting some of that movement speed back is Cobaltstreak. Ooh. That's terrible. So one of the banned items, the Relic, which would have spawned Soul Hearts every 4 rooms cleared out, showed up on Logcat's side. He's seen both of the really good Soul Heart spawners. And that's just got to be heartbreaking with these rules. And again, Cobalt fighting in a Cave Stew store, which, what do we always say? You go into a Cave Stew store, it's going to be greed. By all chances this year, it shouldn't necessarily be greed this early on, but it almost always has been in Caves 2. It's been kind of funny. So we've been making the ongoing joke this year, but just about done with Super Greed is Cobaltstreak. And has to worry about a whole bunch of jumping greed heads, though. Wow, that thing was spawning like crazy. And there we go, a whole bunch of money, gets one of his bombs back, so thankfully he can actually get into another Seeker Room. It's worked out well for him to this point by giving him that 1-up. Yep, we go through the Cathedral today. Ooh, speaking of that invincibility, there we go. So again, with the rules, you have to replace your space use items if you see a new one. But Logcat finding a great one right now in the Book of Shadows. Also heading into his boss fight, gonna wind up with a cube of meat here as once again we get famine, so let's all say, hey, if you would. Alright, working our way on that last hallway that we got here on Cobalt's side, so he'll find his boss fight. My guess would be in 1 or 2 more rooms. I'm gonna say 2. But that should be coming up real soon. Log with that last enemy to kill, his cube of meat, so his orbital blocking shots, again doing 7 contact damage to anything it hits. Wow, Cobalt got hosed over there at first, it looked like, but we're good. I thought it was gonna be too close. Wow. Interesting, the 1-penny Steam sale. I didn't even get to ask for a judgy please, and he hands over a Steam sale. So anything in Cobalt stores from now on are going to be half price, making those a lot more valuable to him. Again, there's a lot of banned items in those stores, but there's a lot of good stuff you could pull out of there too. And again, especially with the extreme lack of keys and bombs he's been getting on this run, that's really not a terrible thing. Yeah, judgy, thank you. Exactly. We need one of those emotes, actually, when I don't even get to ask for the judgy please, like, alright, we need a judgy thank you, because here you go. Anyways, Cobalt been fighting Peep right now, so already almost 50% of the way through there. You see that first eyeball popping out. Give it about another 25% damage, you'll see the other one take off, too. And my hourly frame drop of, like, 10 seconds. Yeah, there we go. Comcast having its moments. It hates the weekends. I don't know what's up with this. Anyways, a little bit of range up with Mom's heals. Oh, hello on the left-hand side. Logcat happy he's off with this run. Not just a small rock off of that item rock that he had, which is damage up and fire rate increase. A little bit of a drop in movement speed, but goes into his item room. And hello, Polyphemus. more damage on his tiers. Those are ridiculously damaging tiers now, so into his boss fight, watch this against Blighted Ovum. He's invincible for 12 seconds, and look at the chunks of damage those tiers take off. Wow. That is ludicrous. So, getting more damage up now with the meat, gets also another health container. Not container, it's another blue heart. Into his god room, thank you very much, about another health container and flying with the Holy Grail. So, LogCat had a great second floor right there. LogCat had a really great second floor, quite honestly. I don't think you could have pulled much better items in this run than those right there. So now comes the question of, do you even bother going into your item rooms in fear of getting rid of that Book of Shadows as LogCat? I may just look for boss fights here. This is where these rules really come into play, guys. So check out again real quick here. There's a link to both of the imagers. This is what I'm talking about. Now, Cobalt's happy doing this. He gets the monster manual, but has to replace, no matter what, had to replace his space use item. Didn't matter what item it was. He has to take the new one with him. So this will wind up spawning one follower for him once per room. Excuse me. And is on a couple room recharge. He's happy with that, but let's say LogCat were to find that. He'd be kind of upset losing that 12 seconds of invincibility right now. So my guess would be, at least with my situation, I'd consider just going boss fights here. That's why I'm saying Manuel. But thanks for trying to correct me on something I was correct on in the first place and putting it in all caps. Appreciate it. So anyways, Cobalt already over halfway through his boss fight here on Depths 1. As I was saying, here's LogCat not bothering with that library up top. Doesn't want to replace this book. I don't blame him. Taking on Fallen himself. So he's going to get another Devil Deal item free of charge out of this if he can get away. He's a little slow, mind you. So if he can get away from Fallen, there we go. 1 or 2 more shots will do this for him. Got Little Gish for Cobaltstreak. So yet another follower that'll shoot out tar tiers, slowing down movement speed and shot speed of enemies. It's decent enough. We wind up with a Ouija board, so this actually is a really good item synergy for LogCat on the left. He now has Spectral Tears, meaning he can shoot through rocks and fly over them because of that Holy Grail. So he's actually got a really good combination going yet again. He wound up with even better stuff, honestly. And again, skipped over that item room, as I was saying. He doesn't want to have to take that chance of replacing that Book of Shadows. And speaking of boss fights, already coming across it, so he's playing quick catch-up here. We got Cobalt already on his depths too, but LogCat fighting his Caves 2 boss fight already after that death. So again, making up a lot of time quickly, and I really don't think he's going for those item rooms. And we're racing through the Cathedral. So best 2 out of 3, gotta kill off Isaac to get the win. Absolutely we can. Get you a split link here. If only I could spell. Hey, what's up, Casino Lord? Alright, oh, that miter completely off limits again, so LogCat obviously has to leave it behind. Nothing doing there. I sadly missed what was on Cobalt's side. Ugh, I hate when I do that, but I can't tell. Yeah, there is nothing telling me what it is visibly. Oh, now I see it. Haha! I wasn't paying attention. There was so much going on screen. It's that distant aberration attack fly. So that'll orbit around him doing damage to anything it comes in contact with. I'd be real sketchy about taking that in close, though. Yeah, it was Wiggle Worm on this one, but he's got that attack fly up on Monster Manuel. So notice this. He's got a fire rate increase again, but oh god, this room is going to be terrible for this too. So notice Cobalt's... Oh god dang, tears. Yeah, man, these masks, dude, chill out on them. Are now curving, so in that S-like pattern, it's really, really annoying to line this up, but there we go. Took a lot of damage in here and has to really hope he doesn't come across many more of those rooms. Wow, really? Another Super Greed. So for the second time on this run, Cobalt tries to spend some money holding on to that Steam sale and would have gotten everything at half off, but instead, of course, it's Super Greed, yet again. So no more stores for him after this point. He's going to hang out all that money and hope for a judgy now. Maybe an arcade. Honestly, he's been kind of lucky with it getting that early one, but didn't have much money at the time. And again, LogCat playing some very quick catch-up here. He's got a Curse of Darkness, can't really tell you much about what's going on with this floor. Again, all unidentified pills you would have to eat, you get your choice once you know what they are. Balls of Steel, you're definitely taking, because that's 2 soul heart increase for LogCat. Quit dropping my damn frames, Jesus. Comcast, seriously, man. Uh-oh. Did that flat out kill it this time? There we go. Come on. Chop chop, Comcast, there we go. Oh yeah, I'm casting at 40k, sure. I love when that happens. Welcome to the internet, where Comcast hates the weekends, folks. Comcast, please. It usually only does that for about 2 to 3 seconds an hour, and then waits about an hour to do it again, so I wouldn't worry much about those. Alright, Cobalt's still working himself along here on the steps, too. Already knows where that boss fight is, too, but I can tell you exactly what he's looking for here. He's got plenty of money, and he's looking for an arcade. How lucky are we going to wind up with? Maybe we wind up actually with a library as well, for that matter. He'd love to replace that Monster Manual. Everybody rages at Comcast. Oh lord, this room for Cobalt. Again, I'd be worried about this, especially having that wiggle worm. See how annoying this is with those rocks in the way? If you just have a small path to fire through, you have to line up perfectly with these things. And that is a real risk. And again, LogCat already finding his boss fight here is taking on Gish. He'll wind up with Little Gish himself, so same thing that we saw on the other side on Cobalt. Actually, that we should have seen. What? Did he not grab it? Yeah, Comcast chooses the rules against me. They're higher ranking. That's how it works. Ooh, Cobalt walking into the center here, so ouch. Got himself a free key, if nothing else. Doubled up his money with that 2 of diamonds, so he's sitting at 61 cents. LogCat picked himself up, Little Gish. There's that Stars card teleporting him directly into his item room. Another follower now in Ghost Baby, which also will shoot out Spectral Tears, same that he's got. And again, very low damage on him. And hello, Lucky Arcade. That's exactly what Cobalt wanted. So he's hoping for some Soul Hearts. Plenty of money to play with. Those are not Soul Hearts. He can't take those. That's not funny, game. Stop giving him red hearts. That's cruelty. Okay, another Temperance machine, so another blood machine to put over here. And again, sitting at only half a blue heart, he is really hoping for some sort of Hierophant card. Sun card again. You can pick these up. Can't use them. And again, after that last item room here, we got LogCat just looking for his boss fight. Cobalt already knows where his is. He just doesn't want to have to use up that 1-up at any time soon. Wow. How about the World card again? Can't use it. Liberty Cap. Can't take that with him. Question. Oops, wrong one. Ah, technically that is on there. Okay, cool. World card and Sun card are cool. Who's ahead? We're pretty dead even right now. Cobalt's ahead for knowing where his boss fight is on this floor. Uh-oh. Okay, that damn near evened it out, if not exactly evened it out. So we're both looking at the exact same boss fight here. And again, now Cobalt knowing that's going to just take off. He's only got the half a Soul Heart working for him at the moment, but he's going to take off and work towards his boss fight. LogCat's just outside of his, so he'll be in there in a few seconds. That one champion mob is just messing with LogCat now. There we go. Alright, so Login gets a Red Mom's foot fight. And again, Cobalt will be there in just a few seconds. He's going to get his version of it, so we're pretty dead even. LogCat a very, very slight time advantage. Definite damage advantage, and that Book of Shadows as well. So he's been very lucky that he didn't have to replace that, because I would not have gone into item rooms, honestly. Ooh, and Cobalt with a much worse version, Blue Mom. So he's going to have to deal with nothing but expansion level enemy spawns and that same foot stomping. LogCat's is just the foot. Every now and then you're going to wind up with, and again, there's the easy way to do it. Cobalt had a really good idea there. I like that move. But again, with Sun Card, you're going to damage all those eyeballs no matter what. Wow. That's tough to leave behind, too. Cobalt wound up actually with 2 really good trinkets, and that's tough to do. Had Curved Horn in there, had to leave it behind, would have been damage up. Both are going to take that Polaroid, though, because as you see on Cobalt's side, if you get hit, you get a 5-second damage shield immediately as Blue Baby. You don't have any red hearts active. You never can, for that matter. So, just same on LogCat's side, you take damage, 5-second damage shield from that Polaroid. Now, difference right now, I'm going to give Cobaltstreak a slight advantage here. He's got a Womb XL floor. It is Utero, so it's an expansion version. But he's only looking for 2 back-to-back boss fights here. LogCat's going to have an entire Womb 1 floor, 1 boss fight there, and then a Womb 2 floor with the same thing happening. So that could be a lot of time differential, but it's all about finding those fights as Cobaltstreak. Alright, again with that Curse of Darkness, Log knows that that's not a store that would have opened up into. That would have been a library. He does not want to replace that Book of Shadows. Again, by the rules, if you get a passive item or a space item, you have to take it. So with the space use items especially, you can't replace the new one that you find with your old one. So it's kind of risky to go into item rooms, especially risky for LogCat to go into libraries, because he knows full well he's replacing his book. Yeah, Wiggle Worm is just nasty, honestly. I hate having to pick that up. But again, by the rules, if you see it, you had to take it. So that's a passive item, and that's a guaranteed pickup. So Cobaltstreak had no choice in the matter, which obviously sucks, but he's working along very, very well with it. This is especially why I hate it. Working around those eyes, I miss those shots endlessly. I hate Wiggle Worm. Now, there's a few exceptions. You give me, like, technology with it, I'll take it any day because it's funny. But other than that, you give it to me on a normal run? No thank you. I want no part of that item. Alright, again, because of those Spectral Tears, LogCat just gonna fly himself over this rock and not have to worry about taking any damage. Again, with that Curse of Darkness, I can't tell you much about what he's looking at on his floor, but at least working himself along to new rooms here. So hopefully this continues on and attaches to a boss fight? And again, same thing over on Cobalt's. He's working along the outside edge of this XL floor. Womb 1 and Womb 2 combined together, so this is definitely going to be huge. Question is, where are those boss fights? If you went the correct direction, this could make it very, very short. Yep, LogCat's got Gish. Correct. Alright, Stars card normally would teleport you into your item room, but again, in the womb, there's no item rooms left down here. So that actually just becomes a random teleport on you. And LogCat gonna hang on to it because he's found his boss fight. Hello, Fate! Wow, that doesn't show up much. So would have given him flying, and as you see, that one Eternal Heart, which will actually, in this case, become a Soul Heart for him, not a Red Heart container if he gets it to the next floor. Which, it's protected by all of his blue hearts, so technically, he's going to. But LogCat into his first boss fight for the womb. So he's gonna have a Womb 2 coming up after this, and now it's really all about Cobaltstreak finding his 2. Ah, that was the glitch out. That's why, because it gave him little Gish in the room when he used Monster Manuel. That would explain it. That would totally explain it. So that makes sense. Monster Manuel actually gave Cobaltstreak a little Gish, which then it freaked out when he picked it up and thought, well, you've already got it. And didn't actually give it to him, so yeah. Again, little Gish glitches out far too often, especially on Depths XL floors. I tend not to actually have it show up in the boss fight, which sucks. Oh, look at this. How about your internal compass on LogCat's side, working right over, left over, technically speaking, to his boss fight. He's got that arcade there, but I wouldn't bother with it, neither will he. Right on into Mom's Heart already, so now Cobalt really gonna have to push to find his 2 boss fights for the womb. Now keep in mind, we raced through the Cathedral. This ain't over by any means. Believe you me, this is not over. Yeah, smallest Utero 2 ever. That's what happens. Sometimes you just get really lucky, and he was just making his way to where he could find a break-off, like, I'm sure is exactly what he was thinking, and he saw it in that room. So here's 1-up enacted on Cobalt's side. He's down, but he's not out yet. He's got 3 Soul Hearts remaining. And again, still needs to find his 2 boss fights. We got LogCat on the left-hand side, already about halfway through Mom's Heart here. Hey, what's up, Puffins? How you doing? I know, it's the way I love it. That's what I knew the playoffs would be, is a bunch of really awesome, really close races. Ooh, just out of the way of that Troll Bomb. 1 extra Soul Heart on Cobalt's side. Hello, Arcade. Now that could come in handy. The question is, though, how much time do you spend in that arcade if you do any whatsoever as Cobalt? He knows after killing off these Gertie Juniors, wow, how did he not get hit? That was so close. But he knows after finishing off these Gertie Juniors, he'll wind up with a Soul Heart spawn off of those 2 little blue ones. So at least he'll make up for that damage he took. And again, LogCat just about done here. Last little bit of damage to do on Mom's Heart. 1 Globin to take care of. Those things are trolls. Again, that God Room is nothing special. That would just give you a way down to Shale. So he's on up to Cathedral. Taking that Stars card as a random teleport. I like that move. So teleporting on over to the far side. Let's see if this pays off for him at all. And Cobalt working over to the right side of this, excuse me, keep saying Womb XL, it's Utero, the expansion version of it, hence the tougher enemies. But, where's your boss fights? Okay, it's almost gotta be up at the top of this split here, I would imagine. So he's gotta be close, but man, these XL floors either help you or really hinder you time-wise. There's those boss fights, they had to be there. So we'll have back-to-back boss fights over on Cobalt's side, and he's gonna quickly try to catch up to the Cathedral as well. Ooh, Log is a little too close to the door, let alone that poison shot. Whoa, speaking of poison shots, damn, Pestilence, chill, bro. Alright, so the first of the two boss fights for Cobalt's going to be Triachnid, down to just the 2 hearts, though. So he's got to be very careful of these. And again, with that Wiggle Worm, lining this up is horrible. So, ooh, down to just the 1 heart as Triachnid trolled him there. That was a bit evil. And again, Cobalt knowing exactly when that spider spawn was coming out, backed away. We've seen that a few times this week. Alright, Patchin' Boy giving him nothing but money, so he already had plenty of it. But this is going to bring him back to that arcade. Cobalt down to just that 1 heart, has to play this pretty safe here. And again, speaking of playing it somewhat safe, LogCat going to clear out this room because he doesn't want to have to worry about it should he have to go back through here. Again, you can see why the Cathedral's a little bit tougher. You get nothing but at least mini-bosses, we'll say, per room. And they are pretty nasty most times. Alright, Headless Horseman fight yet again. And again, no, you don't get the normal items off of these, so you won't wind up with a pony at the end of this, sadly. You're up in the chest, you get a chest, nah, you got a chance, but it's not going to happen here. Yep, best 2 out of 3 through the Cathedral, that's correct. Slacks rules, let me see if we still have these on here. I think we do. Oops, if I can spell. I think we still have Slacks rules listed. Yes, we do. There you go. Ooh, Log coming across a dead end. He'll just bomb right back out of this room. Again, the coins are pretty unnecessary here at this point. Oh, that's right, he had bombed out of this. I completely forgot about that. I thought he had cleared this room for some reason. Saw him go back in like, why is the Headless Horseman there? Also, Cobalt having no luck here. Come on, Soul Hearts, something. Anything. Even a bomb would be cool. There we go. I was gonna say, even a couple of bombs would help him out immensely here. Alright, I think we might be on the correct path. I would say the right path, but we're on the left side. But I think we're on the right path here for LogCat, so we'll see if this actually pans out for him. Pawns out? Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. We'll see if this pans out for him and gives him his boss fight at the end of this. Alright, those red hearts do not help. There's that boss fight, and again, a clear room, but you gotta hope we have enough speed on LogCat's side. Yes, you do. Alright, so on in. Here we go, looking for a 1-0 lead. LogCat's taking on Isaac. And again, has that 12 seconds of invincibility shield with the Book of Shadows. Thankfully, Little Gish slowing down the shot speed of Isaac. It's all about dodging now. Oh, shouldn't have hit that so soon. He had 5 seconds of invincibility anyways because of Polaroid. So he kind of basically wasted 5 seconds of that Book of Shadows here. Now down to just the 2 hearts. He's going to lay a few bombs down in the center. On to phase 2. Again, if Little Gish keeps on attaching that slowdown rate, that'll help out against those purple shots, which are a little bit risky with this low speed on LogCat's side. Wow, is that getting risky. Again, at least we got $1 for Cobalt, but he's going to keep gambling here. There's the Soul Heart. Finally, something for him. Ooh, speaking of Soul Hearts, we got just the 1 left on LogCat's. He's into phase 3, though. Oh, but there's that purple shot taking him out. So LogCat down back to the beginning. Look at all of these red hearts in Cobalt's room. Like, my God, stop giving him red hearts. again, still picking up money here. This gambling is going to continue because Cobalt wants some hearts at this point. So let's see if this ever starts panning out. He's gotten the one soul heart out of this room, and other than 4 bombs and a whole bunch of keys, not a whole heck of a lot else. Speaking of keys, how about a few more just for show? Yeah, right, he needs a D20 right about now. Ooh, and that's going to be it for him? I'll be damned. I thought he was going to keep gambling for a while. I figured that that would have been the better move there, but wow, Cobalt going to move on along here. So hoping for some item rocks. Again, any rock in the womb, 1 per room. They won't be marked whatsoever, but those can actually be item rocks for you. Ooh, and again, getting Distant Admiration out of his Monster Manual. Going to be a little risky because that hangs so close to you. I don't know that I'd want to be in near the enemy spawns, but again, that would make contact damage and do a pretty decent clip for that matter. But again, with only the 2 hearts, I'd be a little worried there as Cobalt, so I think he's going to do the same thing and just hang up as far back as he can. And can you believe this, by the way? If you guys are already noticing it, but if you didn't notice on the left-hand side, there may be another Polyphemus for TheLogcat, let alone a little bit of range up as he also picks up Mom's Lipstick. But the important part is that Polyphemus that he has. So again, huge damage up on those tiers. Absolutely we can. Let me make sure I copied that right. Yes, I did. And I like this move by TheLogcat. Gonna go in for the golden key, meaning infinite keys for this floor. Ooh, worked out well already. Hierophant means 2 soul hearts for him. Thank you. And again, with no bomb, can't get into the one in the center there. But does have infinite keys, so he'll go back and find that item room, I'm sure. Yeah, Polyphemus loves TheLogcat, and I think he loves it too. Oh, let me get the split link in there for you. Just saw somebody ask. Alright, more night spawns on Cobalt's side. Man, are these things time-consuming. Thankfully, though, here's where that Distant Admiration flag can come in real handy. But it's real hard to tell where that is. I almost can't follow that fly. It's so hard to see on the ground. But again, there's that halfway mark on Cobalt's side, so just about to the point where he'll keep it lives out the rest of the fight here. Ooh, Celtic Cross now on TheLogcat's side on the left, meaning he's got a 33% chance that anytime he takes damage, he gets a 5-second damage shield, kind of like the Polaroid. Again, there's that last little bit on Cobalt's side. Mom will take out those extra enemies for him. That worked out well. And looks like going back for some more gambling because he's still sitting at those same 2 hearts and he's got the Cathedral ahead of him. So Cobalt not really so keen about going up there this low on health, I'm sure. Let's see if we can't get anything out of 3-card Monty here. On that note, TheLogcat playing a little bit of catch-up, took out the Widow. Keep wanting to call it the Wretched. With Squeezy as well, so fire rate increase, huge thing for Polyphemus, let alone 2 more soul hearts now. Onto his caves, another XL version, so he's got Caves 1 and Caves 2 combined together here. Sardo. Yeah, TheLogcat died on the Isaac fight, in Phase 3 for that matter. Yeah, you only have the 1 orbital. It was basically just like, it's risky if you don't have at least 2. If you got 3, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. If you've only got 1 orbital, yeah, or less, if you got 0, you're in real trouble. I know, there's so many red hearts in this arcade, it's getting kind of ridiculous. Like, the least he can do, that's probably not what he wants. Okay, good, at least he didn't get Scatola. He really wants to get some soul hearts out of here. And there's a chance that they spawn when you see those red hearts that he can gamble for. Yep, that's going to be the end of it, so Cobalt just going to say the heck with it. He's getting no luck here, so moving on along. He'll check out his Cathedral and hope for the best. He's got just the 2 soul hearts to work with, though. And log into his new item room. Going to pick up the belt this time. Haha! See, it really wanted you to pick it up that first time through. Anyway, so he's going to wind up with movement speed increase and go on looking for his boss fight. Well, actually, he's got 1 more item room. I take that back. He's in an XL floor. So we'll go looking for that 2nd item room and those 2 back-to-back boss fights. Again, used up his last bomb there. At least gets a soul heart out of it. I hate this room. I get caught on these so many times. If you hit just the edge of those openings in LogCats, you get stuck, and it's so annoying. Yep, that double Loki. Log making quick work of most of these rooms, thanks to that Polyphemus ripping on through here. Thank you to the free Seeker room, will take 6 cents. Where's those boss fights, though? I'm sure he'd love to find his item room. He's still holding on to the poop, so he wouldn't mind seeing something to replace that space use with. LogCat kind of cornered there. There we go. Now he popped out of it. Wow, back-to-back double Lokis. And no thanks to this room, says Cobalt. That's a dead end anyway, so he doesn't want any part of that. Let's taunt him with more gambling. He's going in for that item rock, not the gambling, I'm sure, but he'll take the gambling if it hits it. Ooh, interesting. So there's that small rock. More damage increase for Cobalt. Does wind up with a soul heart, if nothing else. Again, damage increase, fire rate increase. He's moving a little bit slower, though. Again, at this point, fair trade-off. I'd make that almost any day of the week. Alright, so the gambling will continue until such time as the game stops giving him money. He's already at $1, let's remember that. So, yeah, that's why he's holding on to so much at the moment. Look at this, it just keeps winning him money. Like, he wants hearts. Soul hearts, to be specific. Soul hearts. And pills. Okay, fire rate increase again. Won't exactly argue that. He's firing out at a real decent clip now, so Cobalt definitely not going to cry. Problem is, Isaac's going to cry more back at him, so that does make it more interesting. He does have the 2 orbitals that you see, though. He's got that one, Pretty Fly, and he's also got the cube of meat floating around him, so at least he does have 2 orbitals to block shots in there. And again, any sort of extra health would be all sorts of welcome. Hierophant card, maybe Balls of Steel pill. Anything? How nice you feeling, game? There's that second item room on LogCats, and again, after this, now he's just going to be looking for his 2 back-to-back boss fights. Oh, hello! How about money equals power? So LogCat now, every coin he picks up will add on to his tier damage, and let me give you a link to explain exactly what goes on with this, because it doesn't cap until 99 cents. So if he comes across $1 now, he'd be about the happiest person on the face of the earth. I totally missed this? Holy crap, I totally missed somebody. Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Why is it not showing it to me? There it is. Carcosa. Holy crap, thank you very much. Totally unnecessary, but thank you very much. Alright, log into his Gertie fight here. Excuse me, so that's the first of his 2 back-to-back boss fights for this floor. Again, doing really ridiculous damage right now, so he's kind of hoping for money. He'd really like to not get hit anymore, too, but there's that Celtic Cross enacting again. And Cobalt working along quite nicely here. Gave up on that gambling, obviously. Had no choice but to. Come on, Soul Hearts. Okay, technically that kind of sort of works. Not really. It doesn't count as an actual hit for you, though. So, being that Cobalt won't move on to a new floor, that half an Eternal Heart does basically nothing for him. But I'll take it anyways. Oh, get out of the way of that. Those things are a little too close. Alright, so LogCat threw that first one on into his second boss fight here for the cave, so winding up with Champion Fistula. This will wind up spawning these bomb flies, but again, nothing scary because he can one-hit every single thing in this room. That damage is getting just ridiculous. And there's my hourly frame drop. Woo! Ooh, speaking of money, how about Pageant Boy for LogCat? So 7 cents for him. Again, Burnt Penny has a chance to spawn some bombs for you every time you pick up a coin. So a couple extra bombs out of this as well. Moving on down to his depths, yet another loading screen error. And look at this, another Curse of the Labyrinth, so another XL floor, and another first immediate item room. So this time, homing bombs. He's going to get 5 extra bombs to his LogCat, let alone homing ability on him. Ooh, and Cobalt working through his real nasty double Headless Horseman room here. Down to just the 1 blue heart, and again, that half an Eternal Heart does nothing for you. Keep that in mind, it does nothing. It would on the next floor, but we aren't going any further than Cathedral, so it's basically there for show. Yeah, Comcast, more like Comcant. It has moments on the weekend, and it's usually just the weekend. but it's the fact that I had to switch servers I was casting to because my routing to the Chicago server went to hell. So I had to switch to the San Antonio server, and it's been bad ever since. So I just have to find one that actually works. Ooh, LogCat gonna get to do some gambling here himself, so spending a bit of his damage with that money going into the slot machine, but really hoping for some health back, and there you go. He'll make that trade any day of the week right now. Alright, Burnt Penny and Flat Penny, or excuse me, LogCat, I almost said Cobalt, is going to hold on to the Burnt Penny in favor of actually trying to spawn more bombs instead of keys. He doesn't need keys at this point. Would love to have extra bombs, though. The more you have, the merrier. Ooh, and look at this, found his boss fights, too. So may think about skipping over that last item room on LogCat's. Ooh, how about an early Polaroid? So same thing we see on Cobalt's side. If he were to get hit, oh, what? Really? A bad trip pill ended it? Oh. Wow. So there's the rules biting somebody square in the keister. Cobalt had to eat unidentified pills there due to the rules, and it was a bad trip pill insta-killing him. So there's the fun of pills. You can die with pills as the blue baby. They don't turn into good ones, but wow. To that ending, to that run. He was working along so well in that Cathedral. That is the trollingest way that you could have ended it. And speaking of that, how about a bloat fight? So we're basically dead even again right now. So health up on LogCats. He's got Balchinian to start his new run. Cobaltstreak replaced Poop with a little bit of pee. So we got Lemon Mishap for him. He's going to spill that out on the ground and damage anything that walks through it. In this case, Steven for his boss fight. And there you go. There's that circular pattern. Man, that was the trollingest thing that could have possibly happened, too. Like, unbelievable. These pills, man, these pills. It's just unreal. Like, of all the things, too. I mean, just, there is no possible trollier way to end that one. Oh, don't worry about it, McSwift. I told you, though. That's the beauty of this game, is it's so random that anything can happen. And again, Cobalt not real happy with that. He wanted the damage up tumor off of Steven, so it was worth the time to check and see if he would have gotten it. No such luck, though. So reset on his side. Oh, speaking of those bad trip pills, LogCat found his. He's going to reset, too. He wasn't too happy with that damage he took. So let's see. Doctor's Remote. Again, you have to replace your space use items, and getting rid of the poop, not a real tough call in the first place. But Doctor's Remote for Cobaltstreak is going to give him a one-time use of Epic Fetus. Winners don't take random pills, kids. Except you have to in this case, so technically, y'all do. Yep, we got ourselves a brand new game, like I was saying. It's a weird game, and anything that can happen, does happen. So let's see. Log gonna check this real quick. Yeah, nothing good in there. So I was gonna say, he'd be back for that Monstrous Tooth if there was anything good in his curse room. Actually, if he would have done that the right way, I would have taken Monstrous Tooth first and then gone into the curse room by these rules. Because again, remember, you have to replace your space use item with the new one that you see. So let's say you came across the nail in there. You'd have to go back in and immediately replace the nail with Monstrous Tooth and not have to think twice about it. So I'd take Monstrous Tooth in that case, then check your curse room. And again, the rules play very heavily into this. That's the only reason Cobalt's back on the Basement 1 right now, is that he got screwed by some bad pills that he had to take. Alright, so LogCat on into his second boss fight. We got Champion Famine this time, so let's get a champion. If you would. And again, you may have noticed his item room as well was quite useful. He's got the wafer floating around him. That's that blue aura. That's the word I was looking for. Almost said Aurora. Wayne's World. But anyways, that's that blue aura around him. Ooh, look at that. Thank you, Champion Famine, for the 2 soul hearts, let alone the guaranteed Cuban meat. So LogCat moving on down to his basement, too. Trying to catch up to where Cobalt is. Again, he's got that, excuse me, hiccups brewing in. God dang. Anyways, Cobalt's got himself that cat o' nine tails. We call it cat o' nine fails because no one really likes it. It's kind of hard to aim your shots with that shot speed increase. I really dislike shot speed. Oh boy, that's gonna get interesting. So you don't necessarily have to use it, but LogCat going to in this case. Remember, any random pill that you find, if it's unidentified, you have to take it. So now with Mom's pills, this could get interesting. We'll see if LogCat ever uses that again. He got a tears down and a random telepill out of there too. So we'll see if he ever actually utilizes that again. That could get, I don't know that I'd do that. I really don't know that I'd use it. All right, toothpicks, again, whatever the case might be. And again, keep in mind, although those are on the banned list, they're still allowed to be picked up. So BOILeR rules still applying here. You can pick those up. Again, it's just shot speed increase. Cobalt already had that capped out with the cat o' nine tails anyways. So it wouldn't have mattered much. But real quick, before he explodes famine all over his screen, let's get another quick, if you would. LogCat actually finding a dead end, though. If he winds up with a bomb, wouldn't be too upset. He's got an item rock in here. Alright, Skullball moving himself on down with that Cuban meat himself as an orbital. And he's on down to his Caves XL in this case. So again, 2 Caves floors combined together into 1. You'll see 2 item rooms and 2 back-to-back boss fights. Also, with that 3 cents, let's get a Judgy please for him. Come on, be nice. Be nice. Be nice, Judgy. You're not nice. Judgy, really, dude? He gave you all of his money. At least he could have done was return the favor and hugged him or something. I mean, come on. So anyways, LogCat with no bomb is going to have to take out Champion Pin the normal way here, and this is going to be a little bit more time-consuming than we normally see. All right, 1 more penny. Come on, Judgy. Ooh, we actually gave him a key. All right, fair enough. A 4-cent key. We paid more for those in our day, so not too terrible. And about some money, let's get another Yes Crown with Pageant Boy on LogCat's side. He has also got himself a God Room, in which we got the Scapular, so, this actually could play very interesting now. So, Scapular and Blue Baby interact kind of odd. Alright, douchebag Judgy. Gotta love that. Anyways, normally if you get down to half a red heart remaining, that damage that takes you there spawns 1 full blue soul heart for you per room. Did I not? I'm not typing in chat. That's why it didn't link the rolls. Ha! There we go. There's the problem. Anyway, so Scapular, like I was saying on Blue Baby, plays a little bit differently. You never get down to half a red heart remaining. But if you're down to the point where basically, like, you're gonna die, like, yeah, and especially, oh god, I didn't even think about that combination. Holy crap. LogCat's got the wafer, too. Wow. LogCat's got a build. Wow. I didn't even think about that combo. Yeah, it's like a wafer slash scapular carry. Who would have thought that that combination would actually be your carry at some point? So there you go. Cobalt done with that Judgy. Just going to blow it up in hopes of actually having more chance at special rooms at the end of floors for the remainder of the run. Excuse me. Yeah, it only works once per room as Blue Baby, so in boss fights, a little bit more risky, but let's say that, like, okay, we saw it in Slack's run last night. The exact same thing happened. He turned himself into Blue Baby with the Scapular in hand. So, when he got down to half a heart remaining, basically, as he got hit, it spawned another one, just the once per room. So, keep in mind, that's just once per room, but, like, getting up to the boss fight, I don't want to say you're invincible, but you're a damn hell of a lot closer to it than you would be in the boss fight. Boss fight's a little bit more risky, especially if you're at low health, so you're trying not to get hit, but technically speaking, you're pretty close to invincible with that. Again, Cobalt's found his 2 boss fights. Still looking for his 2 item rooms, though, and I don't blame him in the slightest bit. I would love to have something else on this build. He's got kind of nothing going for him at the moment. Speaking of item rooms and boss fights, look at that on LogCat's side. So he's found both connected together here. Again, doing a really good job dodging. I hate these rooms. I'm so bad at dodging these. And looks like Cobalt may just be giving up on this whole thought and going straight for his bosses here. So Crack the Sky replacing Mom's Pill Bottle on LogCats. He actually has kind of loved this item all season. We'll probably see it right about there we go. Here's why he loves it. Almost one hit is boss fight, the Hollow. That is random beams of light. It doesn't aim for the enemies. It's random. So you got very lucky there. Also gets Magic 8 Ball, spawning a card, which is Judgy. So let's get a Judgy Please on LogCat's side. See if he can't get something else good here. Alright, Death Card, not a half bad thing. That would injure everything in the room. Pretty decent. Whoa, that was a little too close on the spawn point. Compass, one of the banned items. Judgy, bad Judgy. Bad, bad, bad. Bad, 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 bad. So again, doesn't want any part of that. Oh, excuse me again. Sorry about that. And the other cool part, none of the trinkets are banned, so Kane's Eye totally cool here, and believe it or not, actually fired for LogCat, so 25% chance of that actually going off, and you see the compass effect on LogCat's side. Kane's Eye totally legal, though, so that's completely okay. Again, 1 of 4 chance. That's pretty damn lucky. There's that health back on Cobalt's side after his first boss, on into a Fistula fight this time to finish off his caves. Basically, exact same thing we saw LogCat dealing with last round. Judgy, why? Why? He picked up the pill, he already knew what it was. Again, you only have to take unidentified pills. You don't have to, once you know what they are, you don't have to take them a second time if you don't want to. Alright, passive item, and it's a bunch of pills, so I have to take them all. Yeah, it gets to take a full health pill with them. Fire rate increase. Wow, 2 fire rate increases, 2 full health pills. Not gonna argue that as Cobaltstreak. So hang on to that full health pill. Only does so much for you as Blue Baby, taking you back up to those 3 soul hearts, but hey, it's health back. So definitely not gonna argue these, and again, have to take all the unidentified pills and all passive items like Transcendence on the left-hand side. Again, not a bad thing. LogCat gets to fly now, so he's gonna be very happy with this. Using those Moonstrats, gonna bomb right on through and get up towards his boss fight as quick as he can. Yep, all the races get highlighted out pretty much that same night. We got yesterday's already done, so those should be in my video section already, and we'll get these done basically as soon as the night's over as well. And then if you go on, do we even have the YouTube page listed on this? I always forget. No, we don't. But if you go to my YouTube page, there's a link in the info section. You can actually see every single one of the races that could get highlighted out and uploaded to YouTube, which it's missing a few weeks in there because my internet went really, really bad for 2 weeks. So there was nothing that could be done about those VODs. So we're missing a few, but it's got the entire season that could be up there. And again, log on into that boss fight. Wow, that was a little too close. But again, fighting against the second Horseman, Pestilence. He'll wind up with a second Cupid Meat, adding on to the one he's got. Not a second Orbital, but adding on to what he has, making Meat Boy's head float around. Also getting to shoot out Tears as well as the contact damage and shot blocking. No, both had pretty late deaths. So Cobalt actually got a real troll bad trip pill, basically, that wound up killing him in the Cathedral. And LogCat died in Phase 3 of the Isaac fight himself. God damn it, what is with my mouse clicking out of here? There we go. Alright, all about finding the second item room now for Cobaltstreak, and this could be anywhere on this floor, so this is kind of an odd setup here. Let's see, it could be all the way down in the middle, but I highly doubt it. Excuse me. And the good chances it'll be up here, so he shouldn't have too much further to go. or I could be totally wrong. Excuse me again. Alright, so thankfully a little bit of damage increase once we get the second cube of meat for LogCat, and he's just about done with his caves. Ooh, also getting another God Room out of this. Again, plenty of banned items in there, but not that one, I don't think. Holy crap, how did that not get added into the carry items list? But, well, Sacred Heart for LogCat. Uh-oh. So huge, well, not huge, but really good damage increase. Homing ability on your tiers. And, yeah, that's gonna play a little interesting. Oh, boy. Guys, one item is never GG. Now, the combination LogCat has is getting pretty effing ridiculous. Don't misunderstand me. I'm in no way, shape, or form knocking this run or his ability to win with this, but believe me, one item is not GG in this. It's definitely pretty freaking close to an almost unbeatable run, though. Like, this is getting ridiculous with what he has. Wafer, Scapular. Just, oh man, this is just getting nuts. And it's still all about finding that last item room here. Where is it gonna be hiding? It's gotta be down at the bottom middle, like I was saying. This is the weirdest setup. Of all places, it'll be connected down here. Wow, this is weird. Ooh, nice find though in a locked chest. Sad Onion for Cobaltstreak's gonna up his fire rate, and there's that last item room finally, so he's almost done with his caves. Ooh, and speaking of getting nice things, LogCat found his boss fight immediately. So we're gonna have to see. I don't know that he cares about his item rooms. Maybe he does. He's thinking, no he doesn't. I'm right on in, so he'll face Little Gish, or face Gish here, excuse me, and wind up with Little Gish as the reward out of it. Now another really awesome item here. You may notice Cobaltstreak's kind of got something fun too with technology. So again, we'll see this against, actually not anytime in the real near future. He's probably just going to use this, like I was going to say with that Chariot card. All sorts of money coming for Cobaltstreak here. And no such luck. He was hoping for a blood bag. No such luck with it, though. So he's going to leave it behind. No bomb to blow it up. No real reason to do it anyways, unless you have a good chance of getting a soul heart out of there with an extra item. But we banned all those in this race, so not going to happen. Oh, what else is out there? Oh, yeah, that full health pill. Duh. I was trying to remember what else was out on the floor, and I couldn't think of it. All right, so LogCat finished off Gish. He's got Little Gish floating around behind him. And let's see, it looks like he is going to go looking for his item room instead. And again, Cobalt has already finished off both of these boss fights, so he's going to move directly on down to his depths after this. So just this one more last room to walk through. And again, onto the same floor the LogCat's on. And Necropolis version, the expansion floor here. Wow, man, Cobalt's getting no luck with his stores. This is getting kind of trolling on his side, but again, really good technology laser on that. Not going to be too much of an issue against Greed here. So everybody say a real quick hi to Greed, and he's gone. So the other problem, again, unidentified pills, you have to eat them. They worked out well again for Cobalt, though. Friends till the end, give him those 3 attack flies floating around. Alright, Log still with no luck finding this item room here. So again, I tend to wonder just how long you want to go looking. At this point, you might as well finish off this floor. At least as a store, that could be interesting, too. Again, a lot of the store items are banned, so it's interesting, we'll say that, but I might consider taking that. Speaking of that, really good choice here again, Liberty Cap showing up on Cobalt's side. So he's going to have random mushroom effects every room, which could either give you damage up, or in one random case, you can actually get the compass effect out of that. And again, being random, no, that's not banned, so it's actually okay for him to pick that up. Same thing with Mom's Pearl, not on the ban list, trinkets are okay. Alright, again, when LogCat gets that onto the next floor with him, that half an Eternal Heart he just picked up will actually become a Soul Heart for him. There's that item room, finally. Nowhere else it really could be, honestly. He full cleared the entire floor. Ooh, and now Log has to take that Guppy's tail. So again, all passive items have to be picked up. Log's probably going to have a lot more locked chest spawn and a lot less keys for the process. So into his item room here for Depths 1, also with Eve's Dead Bird. If he takes damage, that'll spawn that Eve's Dead Bird to fly around the room and try to damage anything. Now, problem is, when you get that onto what will be our last boss fight, Isaac, that actually really comes back to haunt you. But again, with everything cleared out, Log moving on down to his next floor, that becomes a full Soul Heart container for him, and he's working along in his Depths too. All right, more health on Cobalt's side. So again, that bucket of lard's going to lower his speed just slightly, so he's kind of crawling along now. But again, not really going to care too much unless you get rooms like this. Ugh, these masks, man. These things are such trolls. Again, also holding on to Guardian Angel is Cobaltstreak, so we got a double speed orbital for him that also picked up the speed of that cube of meat as well. So again, both make contact damage, both block shots for you, and that's huge in that fight against Isaac. And speaking of your boss fights, we got Mom's Foot looking at TheLogcat. Kind of curious about what he does. If he goes in, again, that would have trapped him in there, so he wouldn't have been able to get this last item, which he is going to go searching for. And Cobalt knows full well that one to the left probably not going to break anywhere else, so we'll try over to the right. And my guess would be this has got to be where that boss fight is. And indeed, we found it, so Cobalt going to be able to catch up real quickly here. TheLogcat has found his item room, though, for Depths 2, so that'll be the last one on his run. And Cobalt to move on in, face himself. Oh, geez, the Mask of Infamy, though, again, has piercing with that technology laser, so this may not be too terrible. Only real issue with this is that he is moving kind of slow, and that mask is really going to move quickly against him. So doing a great job dodging it here. Gonna have to take out that heart first, then worry about the mask. The piercing is going to make a huge difference for him, though. And again, one floor ahead, TheLogcat moving into his boss fight. He picked up the Spelunker helmet, so he'll be able to tell where his secret and super secret rooms are. Or excuse me, no he didn't. The hell am I thinking? He's had that. Yeah, D6 is banned. Hasn't even shown up yet tonight anyways. Which is kind of funny, because when Jim made these rolls, first thing that showed up was a D6. Alright, box of items, one everything, including, thankfully, a soul heart on Cobalt's side. 2 of diamonds will double up his money. Unidentified pill has to be taken. And that miter's a banned item, so no chance of picking that one up. We got a bad gas pill, so nothing special for Cobalt. Like I said, that 2 of diamonds doubling up to 32 cents. Gonna take the Liberty Cap over the random poison effect off of the Pinky Eye. Move on down to his Depths 2. So again, looking for that same boss fight where TheLogcat's just about finished it off. There's that last bit of damage. Movement speed increase for Log. Also going to replace Mom's Pearl with Polaroid. Again, if you get hit now, a 5-second damage shield for him every time. And let's get a real quick judgy please before TheLogcat moves on to the womb. Alright, another health up. Exactly what he was hoping for, I'm sure. And like I said, log on down to his womb. So Utero, Curse of the Lost, adds extra rooms onto this floor. And again, this is the expansion version of it. Alright, Compass, one of the banned items, so Cobalt has no choice but to leave that one behind. Again, pills in the store, you can leave those behind because the store and Devil Deals are completely optional, so Cobalt does not have to replace that pill or buy it or use it for that matter. So he can leave that one behind, that is perfectly okay. Yep, and TheLogcat finding one of the best things he possibly could with that cancer, doubling up his fire rate, and again, huge with these damaging tears. And Cobalt into his last of his item rooms actually has to replace his Space Use item now, probably not too upset by it. That'll give him Game Kid now, turning him into Pac-Man whenever he uses it, allowing you to eat your enemies. Normally that would give you a chance to heal you for half a red heart. But again, we're the Blue Baby, so there's no heal involved with that, sadly. Yeah, Log's build is kind of ridiculous. You can't tell, but he's actually got the wafer. So he's also got the scapular. Consider that combination as the Blue Baby, guys. We saw it last night with Slackaholicus, and it's slightly overpowered. So he's only taking half damage. He's also got the Polaroid as the Blue Baby, meaning if he gets down to the point where he would die with that half damage, it actually spawns a blue soul heart for him once per room. So he's got a really ridiculous build going. And again, it's tough with that Polaroid being left behind, too. I don't know, man. That's... it's tough to do, but I want that extra fire rate with cancer, man. It's tough. Alright, Balls of Steel, thank you very much to those pills on Cobalt's side, so he gets 2 more soul hearts out of that. Yeah, it's just a game key glitch. It does that all the time. It fires out the back of your head after the effect's done. It's just a graphical glitch on it. Log doesn't have to reconsider the Polaroid. Because again, he's got Scapular and Wafer. He only takes half damage, and again, he's, I don't want to say invincible, but he's damn near on the borderline of it, so it's a tough call, but I want that double fire rate, honestly. With the tiers that he's got, with the damage he's got going on it, I'd be taking that double fire rate. He's going to get through rooms a heck of a lot quicker with it. So it's that trade-off of, do I want 5 seconds of invincibility if I get hit? Or do I just want to take the chance, or less chance I should say, of getting hit by doing more damage quickly? And it's that, do you want to be a glass cannon, or do you want to play defensively type of run? He's saying in this case, screw it, I want to kill stuff quicker and give myself less time in boss fights where I even have the opportunity to take damage. So maybe it plays out well for him, maybe it doesn't, but it's that risk you almost have to take sometimes. And he knows Cobalt's just on his tail. He's halfway through that mom's foot fight already in Depths 2. So he's going to be on the same floor momentarily, and Log's yet to find his boss fight here. No, guys, D6 is banned, just like BOILeR rules. It's art. They're on a call together for that matter, so believe me, it would have already happened if it was necessary. Alright, Log finding his boss fight yet again against the bloat here. Oh, look at this, Crack the Sky doing half damage to him. Crack is being a bro right now to TheLogcat. Jeez Louise. And again, Cobalt finishing off Mom's heart, or Mom's foot, excuse me, is on down to his womb. Wow, triple Gertie Juniors. At least he gets a soul heart out of this room, but yeah, that would have been the problem, is they're going to wind up cornering you like that. So it'll even out for Cobaltstreak if nothing else, but at least he gets that heart back. And there's that last bit of damage on TheLogcat's side. Another health up for him, including a Devil Deal. With stuff I don't even want to bother with, and he doesn't either. Again, Devil Deals and stores are completely optional, so he had the choice to leave those behind. TheLogcat will do just that, keep all of his health, move on down to the Womb 2, in this case the Expansion Utero 2. Yeah, Crack the bro. Excuse me. Terribly sorry about that. I didn't even get to mute in time. Terribly sorry. Alright, Log with yet another dead end. I was really hoping that was actually going to break the correct way for him, but wow, that's actually going to stop there. So where is this going to go? We're going to have to say top of this map. Man, that's weird. We're going to say top of that hallway on TheLogcats. That's a bizarre layout, though. And again, Cobalt finding himself a dead end. There's that game kid usage. So again, wait for that graphical glitch. He's going to have possibly one enemy left. Yep, there's that same graphical glitch. Again, it basically snaps your neck because technology doesn't exactly fire on that direct line. So it gives you that graphical glitch and kind of lines your head up with the way that it should be if it were firing correctly. Ooh, look at this. Cobalt's found himself his boss fight. So again, making up really good time here is just looking at his Womb 1 boss fight. So TheLogcat not very far ahead here in Womb 2 at the moment. Yep, sure did, Blue. Oops. Hope I hit the right button. Alright, into a death fight on Cobaltstreak's side. So again, when you see that slowdown effect, that's actually the boss using that hourglass. You can see him holding onto it there. And there's the fun of not being able to move your bombs when that slowdown affects. I love that. That's happened about 3 times in the last few days. I love watching that. Yeah, see, it even slows down the movement on the bombs. It's so funny to watch. Ooh, Cobalt getting cheap-shotted there by the horse. I thought it was clear. And again, TheLogcat finding his boss fight, so he's got Mom's heart on the other side of the store. So try to keep that full 1-floor advantage. Cobalt just about done with death, though. And again, don't have to worry about these knights spawning too much, because he does have that piercing with technology. There's that second cube of meat for him, so he gets Meat Boy's head floating around. Another God Room. And that's a banned relic, so again, one of the banned items, not even allowed to pick that up. Would have spawned blue soul hearts every 4 rooms that Cobalt cleared out. Look at this again. Crack the Sky is just being a bro for LogCat. Even better damage there to Mom's Heart. So he's already a good portion of the way through this fight. And Cobalt just looking for the same one as he's on down to his regular version of the womb too. Yeah, be gone, you nasty relic. Like, you know the game's just being a douche when it gives you the relic A, this late in your run, but B, on a run where you can't use it in the first place. It's being a douche. Yeah, Crack This Guy's been putting in a lot of work tonight. Cobalt, or excuse me, I keep saying Cobalt when I mean LogCat. LogCat loves that item. He has all season. It almost, actually, I think it damn near did one hit Mom's foot for him. He used it against the doorways, and all, like, I think 4 of the 5 beams of light went into one of the eyeballs and literally just chunked damage away. It was a beautiful thing to see. Ooh, and speaking of that boss fight, look who's found his on the right-hand side. So Cobalt's going to be moving into the same room that LogCat's in about 3 seconds here. Alright, so dueling Mom's Hearts fight, and you see that immediate use of the game kit on Cobalt's side, so he's going to try to do some chomping damage. But again, we got about a, we'll give it about a 45-50% lead over on LogCat's side on the left, but it's really close right now. Again, Cobalt stolen onto that full health pill would take him back up to 3 soul hearts if he were down lower. Alright, last little bit of damage over on LogCat's side. Everything's cleared out there. He'll fly on up to his Cathedral, and again, Cobalt not far behind, over halfway through his Mom's Heart fight on the right. So it's really all about finding these boss fights for both of these 2 racers at this point. And maybe not getting so unlucky as to finding random pills that may be bad trips again. That was a real trolling way to end one of the earlier runs, I'll say that much. Alright, down to the last little 30%. Will she stay out? Yes, she will. So Liz will stay out the rest of the time on Cobalt. So he was really close to that borderline of where that damage was. But yes, she will stay out. So direct damage the rest of this fight. Again, he'll be able to hit everything with that piercing technology laser, which is doing a pretty decent clip of damage. He doesn't have all that much damage up, but it's working nicely for him. And speaking of up to his Cathedral, so is Cobaltstreak. So finding an immediate dead end room he is, though. Let's see how this plays out. Again, both just need to find their boss fight. Pretty low on health on both sides. We got 3.5 on Cobalt's. We got 4 on LogCat's, but he's got the Wafer and Scapular combo, let alone Sacred Heart. Some great dodging there on LogCat's part, and you can really thank Little Gish for slowing down the movement speed of some of these enemies too, but great dodges in that room. Ooh, finding himself a library. That's an interesting one up in the Cathedral. He wants to keep his Crack This Guy, though. It's been a bro to him to this point. Ooh, actually, maybe he doesn't. I see where this is going. Come on, be Book of Shadows, please. Log would love to see that in here. He is going to clear this room out, and that's why you saw that use of the Crack This Guy, which helped him again, mind you, but that could be the last time. Using up his key, and yes, it will. Oh, and it's there. Book of Shadows, ladies and gents. This run just gets more and more ridiculous by the second. 12 seconds of invincibility now for LogCat when he utilizes that. So Wafer, half damage, keep in mind. Scapular would give him a full soul heart if he gets down low enough. Wow! And it gave him another Polaroid. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Okay. Wow. Unbelievable finds right here for LogCat. So now if he gets hit, he gets a 5-second automatic damage shield with his second Polaroid of the run. Unbelievable find right there. Jeez Louise. What's his damage? We don't need no damage. We don't need no stinking damage. Actually, LogCat's damage is still pretty good too. Again, he's got Sacred Heart, remember, so it's not like that's anything to scoff at. Oh, that's my head. Ah, that's what that is. I thought it was a cat chewing on something. That's my headset hitting my chair. Now I understand where that noise was coming from. My bad. Ooh, Cobalt on the right, down to just the 1 heart. Oh, get away. Woohoo. If that Gertie Jr. didn't die on that literally 1 tick of damage, that was it on Cobalt's side. That was close. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, there goes part of it. There goes the invincibility for LogCat. He's got no choice but to replace that Book of Shadows with Tammy's head now. And again, that'll fire out tears equivalent to yours in a bunch of directions, but it's not 12 seconds of invincibility every time you use it. So again, with the rules, you had to replace it. LogCat had no choice in the matter here. Ooh, that triple... Oh, I was going to say, that triple horseman. If they go the opposite directions, that becomes the worst crisscrossing pattern, and Cobaltstreak's back to the beginning here, so huge advantage on LogCat's side. And keep in mind that build he's got going is definitely interesting. And there's that boss fight too, so 1 last room for LogCat to clear out, and he'll be into his Isaac fight yet again. Remember, working with half damage on the wave scapular just in case. He gets down low enough, will spawn an extra soul heart for him. And at least he's got the 1 orbital, so we'll see how this plays. Again, with the Polaroid at least, he's got that 5 seconds of damage 5 seconds of invincibility every time he takes damage. And Death Guard will definitely keep on, hanging on to this until Phase 3. That'll take care of some of those screaming babies very quickly. That's going to be handy. And yes, best of 3, correct. So LogCat in, looking for a 1-0 lead here, as we said. So taking on Isaac for the 2nd time tonight, looking for that redemption. And with that build, it's going to be interesting. Well, the one thing to keep in mind, too, is keep in mind, like, there's, what, 3,200 people in here, let alone the people, like, you know, they know that many people are watching. It's always a little bit of, like, you know, added pressure, let alone you know that you're racing against somebody. Let alone as LogCat, it's Cobaltstreak. And let's be honest here, the guy's undefeated. He hasn't lost in BOILeR. Let's call him like we see him. That's not an easy matchup. So, like, I've raced Cobalt in that first race. When I did beat him, my hands were shaking. So, if that's anything to tell you, it's not the easiest thing to do. So I give everybody that races in these so much credit, because I've tried, and it's tough for me. I can't contain my nerves. I honestly can't. And I'm being honest with it. I cannot contain my nerves. Yeah, Log's doing a phenomenal job of this fight so far. All right, Cupid Zero. Now we got Piercing for Cobaltstreak. He's off and running with this one. Judas's Tongue, pretty pointless. That would turn any devil deal that would cost red hearts into a 1 red heart deal. But again, there's no red hearts available to you. So kind of a ridiculously wasted trinket in this case, but kind of mood. So again, all these extra enemies building up. Still holding on to that Death Guard as LogCat. He's got plenty of health here too, so I wouldn't be incredibly worried. He's going to head on in, let Tammy's head do some work for him. That bird obviously doing some real work in this fight. There's that Death Guard to take care of every one of the extra enemies. I like that move by LogCat. Last little bit of damage left to do here. And again, looks like Cobalt's just going to go ahead and restart this one. He knows full well at this point that 1 last hit's going to do it. As soon as these extra enemies are clear and that chest spawns in the center of the room. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. 1-0 lead for your number 6 seed, the LogCat. Very nicely done. And again, that was a ridiculous build, but wow, man. These races tonight are going to keep you edge of your seats, so seriously, like, Cobalt was right there for that one too, guys. That's how close this was. So again, we're going to have a hell of a couple next, or at least a next round. Let me rephrase that. You can see we're getting them both reset right now. Give us a couple minutes here. Cobalt's walked away too. He's going to play some ads himself, so let me give you a link into both of their channels. Go tell both of these guys, great job. We got a 1-0 lead right now for LogCat. He's looking for one of the next 2 wins to knock Cobaltstreak out and move on to the AFC Championship round, against Wiki 22 next week. Cobalt's going to need back-to-back wins here. So again, good luck, guys. Seriously, we'll be right back in a couple minutes. We'll get round number 2 underway. We'll see how this plays out. So hang tight, everybody. Be right back with you. And we'll get you unbanned in a second, Peep. I think that was me accidentally hitting you. Alright, we're back. We got round number 2 just about to begin here, so let me flip this back on over. And again, you can see we got LogCat with a 1-0 lead right now over Cobaltstreak. Excuse me again for the hiccup there. I was trying to get that taken care of. Anyway, so LogCat's going to look for one of the next 2 victories here. We're going to race through the Cathedral one more, or at least one more time, excuse me. I always say that wrong. And again, whoever gets the win on that, whoever kills off Isaac first, will get a point at the bottom of the screen. The best 2 out of 3, meaning LogCat just needs 1 more. Cobalt's going to need back-to-backers here. So again, still racing as a blue baby, same rules as last time. Let me get these linked out in chat. There's the split link up above at cadguard.net. Hit up both LogCat and Cobaltstreak for me if you guys would. Wish them both good luck here, because they're both going to need it. These are not easy rules to play by. You may have noticed that in the first round. They are kind of brutal. And again, Cobalt got to choose what they were, so I give them all the credit in the world. I wouldn't be able to do this. They're often racing though, so best of luck to both of these guys. And again, you have to take passives, so Cobalt's real quickly going to check his curse room. There's nothing there. That's going to wind up being a reset, most likely. Yes, it is. So again, you have to take all passives, all space use items, and replace any space use item that you have immediately with the new one. Ooh, I'm actually kind of surprised LogCat didn't want Bloody Lust there. Again, I don't blame him. Don't misunderstand. It's not guaranteed damage up, and when you kill something in the room, you do get damage up off of that. So I'm actually kind of surprised he left that behind. Homing shots on LogCats. We got the sack of pennies over on Cobalt's, and with that being a really crappy card outside, he wants no part of this run either, so double resets again. Yeah, we'll wind up with something good momentarily, but both racers want a real good item as their first one to start off with. Some type of damage up would be really keen for both of them. Yeah, that's a reset. Mom's Eye, not the greatest, but not the worst either. It's a fire rate increase, and you get an eyeball in the back of your head as Cobaltstreak, and you notice there's those tears coming out backwards from him. So he's going to take this and be off and running with his first run here. And let's see, 10 bombs? That's a reset for LogCat. He was right by his boss fight, but again, 10 bombs, they're expendable. I wouldn't take that as your first item. You can get those anywhere. Yeah, they're good, because you don't start with any, but it's a little too risky. Oh, yesterday's games were won by Zwicky22, and that's why the reset. They were won by Zwicky22 and Slackaholicus. And we'll update the bracket after tonight, after both of these races are done. And again, LogCat, as I was saying, not going to really cry about those resets he had anymore. Technology won for him, so that laser we saw on Cobalt's side last run is now on LogCat's this time. And again, Cobalt's going to move on to his first boss fight here, so with that Mom's Eye, excuse me, he's facing off against Duke of Flies this time. So he's got himself the advantage at the moment, time-wise. Excuse me again. Alright, still no bomb for LogCat, so not even going to worry about that coin either. Now the game's just taunting him. Unless he gets a bomb here, it's really just taunting him. Yeah, it's taunting him. So on to his boss fight. We're in the same room right now, but again, Cobalt's already finished off his. We've got Monster over on LogCat's side. A little bit of health increase for Cobalt, and he'll be moving on down to his second floor. Yeah, Maggie's Faith, definitely an interesting one, so that could be some easy health up for Cobaltstreak. Excuse me real quick. Excuse me again. As a trinket there, Maggie's Faith, every time you get to a new floor, that first room, it's going to spawn half an Eternal Heart in your health bar. And again, that's protected by all your Soul Hearts, meaning that as you get onto the next floor, it turns into a full Soul Heart as a replacement for anything you may have lost, or to add on to what you have. And again, Log finishing off his Monstro fight, Wire Coat Hanger, almost turning this into technology too, the more and more fire rate you get. But again, increased fire rate, so more fire coming from LogCat here. And he's on down to his second floor. Curse rooms are nice, but not at the cost of a full Soul Heart yet, I don't think. Yeah, LogCat had a pretty filthy build in the last round. He died a few times. Cobalt died once, but it was because of a troll pill in the Cathedral. He had 1 health left and wound up with a bad trip pill. So they both wound up resetting just about at the same time right then. And LogCat wound up with Wafer, Scapular, and Sacred Heart. So you wound up with a pretty ridiculous build last time, and wound up pulling it out. Cobalt died pretty late on. I think that was in the Cathedral? Yeah, it was. It was against a Triple Horseman fight. Super Wrath just about done. LogCat doing a great job dodging these troll bombs. If it doesn't spawn one right now, there we go. Ooh, and he gets Mr. Mega out of it, the best reward possible, so that's why you don't mind fighting him sometimes. 5 extra bombs. LogCat now has 6. More importantly, though, those all do double damage, so from 40 all the way up to 80. And again, you can see Cobalt's picked up his second item, Magneto. So, wow, that just looks weird as he was walking right in line with those tears. That was beautiful. Again, Magneto's going to draw anything with any type of metal closer to you, so troll bombs included, but you just saw one of the extra keys floating out of the center of the room for Cobalt and going closer to him. So let's see, health up and a devil deal for Cobalt. Flying and Spectral Tears would be nice with Spirit of the Night, but again, with Blue Baby, it's tough to spend those. There's Maggie's Faith in Acting. He's on to Caves 1. Immediate item room. LogCat, speaking of item rooms, was into his, picked up Pinking Shears, which again, not going to have to use here as technology will melt through his second boss fight, Larry Jr. But that'll cut your body off from, or your head off from the rest of your body. You fly around still shooting your tears, the body tries to make contact damage with anything in the room. And both finding their item rooms here immediately, so LogCat onto his as well. Again, no key for LogCat, though, so he's going to have to hope for one to actually spawn in this room. Speaking of that, oh boy, the oh-so-useless little Chad. It actually has to be picked up due to the rolls, but again, completely useless. It'll spawn half red hearts every couple of rooms for Cobaltstreak. So, like, the most useless item you could possibly find besides the Yum Heart in this run. And again, no keys for LogCat, so we'll see if he can't happen across something. That challenge room, if there was a passive or space use item in there, LogCat would have to take it and go through the time sink of that challenge room, so he's going to leave it behind, at least for now. And we got Cobalt finding his boss fight here at the end of Caves 1. Wow, Cancer again, so talk about that quick fire rate on LogCat's side. Thank you very much. Look at this. We almost have a Technology 2 laser going on here with much more damage. Also importantly, right-hand side, Cobalt went into his store on Caves 1 knowing full well that's not going to be green in there. Wound up with a treasure map. Again, most of the map items are banned. Treasure map doesn't necessarily tell you where rooms are, though, so that is still okay to take. Therefore, Cobalt will see his entire minimap laid out before him. And again, LogCat gonna have to take these, let alone all these pills. If they're unidentified, you have to eat them. So 2 bad gas pills. Won't have to worry about the other there. Speed movement, or movement speed down. And bad trip, so he loses a heart. Goes in and has to leave behind another banned item. So the miter shows up and LogCat's got her. And again, that would have spawned, or 50% more chance than when red hearts spawned that they would have been blue soul hearts for you. But again, banned by Cobalt's rules here today. Again, that slight advantage for LogCat is building up here as Cobaltstreak still taking on Green Peep on the right-hand side. Just about done with it, though, so not too much more to take care of. Ooh, getting cheap-shotted by those eyes, though. I hate those eyeballs so much. By the way, be real careful if you lay a bomb down in this fight that Cobalt's in. Watch out that it's near those eyeballs. It'll actually pop those, pun intended, but it'll pop those eyeballs, like, real quick speed over into different directions, so you have to be very cautious of that. Ooh, interesting choice here. Really? What? How did that kill him? Oh, you know why? Because it gave him the 1 soul heart back. I misread that. Wow. Okay, that's screwy. Even Cobalt was shocked by that one. I didn't realize that he was that low on health, though, when he picked up the mark. I thought he was still safe, but wow, Cobalt with an accidental mistake there bought the mark and it killed him. Again, it gives you back 1 soul heart, which is why you saw one on his health bar. But again, that was after he died, technically speaking, so that's why you didn't see it right there. Alright, a little bit of fire rate decrease with that tear down pill. Again, you have to take all pills that you come across if they're unidentified. The Log not really going to cry too much about it. He's still firing out ridiculously fast. On into a fallen fight. Wow, is this thing close to him. Woo! So he's going to wind up with a guaranteed Devil Deal item free of charge here. And Cobalt off and running with his new runs. Got Kamikaze, which again, remember, you can use the glitch with this, making you invincible as you hang on to walls. So this could get very interesting. Cobalt knows very well how to utilize that. And again, on into his boss fight. We got a champion. Ooh, look at this. Champion Famine, though, so let's get a real quick over on the right side. Pact showed up as the item for LogCat, so 2 soul heart increase. Because again, it was free of charge, so 2 free soul hearts, damage increase, and fire rate back off instead of the fire rate down that he got from the pill, so he's evened that out. So one of the best ones he could have hoped for. Ooh, let alone best card he can hope for. Hierophant's 2 soul hearts again. Thank you. Lucky Toe would give you more chance of spawning items. He's going to hang on to Cancer, though, for that double fire rate. Grab his bomb back, not going to worry about the money, and he's going to go find that item room as LogCat. Wow, look at that fire rate. That is a ridiculous Technology 1 fire rate. That is, wow, is that scary. Now again, remember the scary part to this. If we don't wind up with some orbitals on LogCat's side, he's really up a creek in that fight against Isaac. Because that will be a lot of return fire by Isaac. Yeah, that quote-unquote air horns Tech 2. It's not. It's Technology 1 for those wondering. How about a free soul heart? Thank you very much. Alright, into his first boss fight. We got that unicorn horn being utilized by Cobaltstreak. And again, he'll work around a circle here, take out Steven. Little Steve, not what he was hoping for. Follower with homing tears. And pretty low damage on those. He was hoping for the tumor for the damage up on his tears. Again, no such luck there. You got about a 20% chance of the good item showing up. Little Steve, not that terrible though, don't misunderstand. It's just not what you're hoping for. And again, hoping for a key now is Cobaltstreak as he's found his item room. So is LogCat. He does have that key though, so let's see what he winds up with here. Magneto for him as well, so he's going to be able to draw items closer to him. And again, with everything else cleared out here on Caves 2, LogCat's going to be on down to his depths momentarily. Still holding on to those pinking shears, lots of health, pretty darn good damage, and that Technology 1 firing at a ridiculous pace here. And again, with that key, Cobalt can go back for his second item room. Wow, man, really, again, with the crappy items, toothpicks showing up. Again, on the ban list in BOILeR. Again, he actually does have to take these now that I think about it. So again, he thought the same thing and just like, man, I don't want these, but yeah, pretty much has to. So, little bit of shot speed increase, and I do mean very slight amount of it for Cobaltstreak. Oh god, how about a super NB fight? Like, Cobalt's just got, I think I just read his lips and say, you gotta be kidding me. This is getting ridiculous here. Oh, already beat me to it, thank you, Mike. There's a listing of the rules again in chat if anybody wants to see them. I'd show it on screen, but it would take away from actually seeing the race and what's going on, so I'd rather show the race itself. But we got the two imager links, I'll show you what rules are going on right now. Obviously, you can tell we're racing his blue baby, going through the Cathedral in a best 2 out of 3. Pretty much anything that spawns blue hearts is banned. Real carry items, like, for example, Mom's Knife, Brimstone, and the blue candle are all banned. Also, you have to take any space use item you come across, hence why LogCat's replaced his pinking shears with not so, well, it is useful, but in his situation, I probably wouldn't go near it. LogCat's got himself that razor blade would damage you to up your damage in the room. And again, yes, that would keep working on top of itself, so the more you use it, the more damage you get. About that Forever Alone fly. So again, the best thing that could have come out of that time sink with Super Envy. Forever Alone attack fly is going to orbit around Cobaltstreak, as you see. Again, it does contact damage to anything it hits, and it is pretty decent damage if you can line that up right. Alright, Flat Penny would give LogCat more chance if he picked up coins that would spawn a key for him on top of it, but not even going to worry about it here. So Cobalt gonna use for the last time that unicorn horn. He's gonna wind up replacing it momentarily with the pony. So again, Headless Horseman always gives you the pony. There's that Forever Alone attack fly doing some work. So different type of horseman fight for Cobaltstreak. Oh, there's that banned Brimstone, so nothing he can do about it. Couldn't buy the Book of BOILeR anyways if he wanted to. Didn't have enough health. So Cobalt moving on here to his caves. Excuse me. And again, now with a random chance of getting Bloodlust to enact. Oh, that was a cheap way to use that key up. He did not mean to use that key. It just charged him into it. But again, we'll wind up with finally an orbital for LogCat. He's going to get a cube of meat himself as he takes out War here. And again, those Mr. Mega Bombs will stop him, not dead in his tracks, but keep him from getting real close up onto you from time to time. So finally, with an orbital, LogCat's going to move on down to depths 2. Cobalt's found his boss fight right away on Caves 1, but he's going to find that item room. It's a little too important in this run at the moment. And again, he still has to hope for a key as well to get into it, but I'm in agreement. I would go find that item room. I'm pretty sure it will, Pepita. I've never actually tried, but I'm almost positive it will. I just never use the thing, quite honestly. Alright, one last item room for LogCat to find, and then that mom's foot fight to deal with. And again, we're racing through Cathedral, so there's plenty of time left on both sides here. Nothing is ever over, guys. Believe me, we saw that last round, too. There's that last item room showing up on LogCat. There's somebody with a real loud bike going by. And we're clear. All right. Anyway, so getting mini-mush on LogCat's side. He's now got a speed and range increase, and he's itty-bitty. So he's going to be even tougher to hit. Cobalt's found his item room, though, again, had to accidentally waste that key because of the charge on his pony. Nothing else left to do on this floor, so he'll be back to his boss fight here. Ooh, actually, is he going to do this? Yes, he is. I'll be damned. I like the move, though. I really like that move. So he tried to get something out of it, really wanted to get himself a key, but no such luck for Cobaltstreak. So he's on to his boss fight. Gonna wind up in an orbital himself as now he's fighting Pestilence. So that same cube of meat the LogCat's holding on to will be on Cobalt soon. Log dealing with red moms, just gonna keep going side to side here. All you have to worry about is those doors opening up and triple shotting you. Again, with the speed LogCat's working with now, it's almost getting a little too much, you can tell. There's a cube for Cobaltstreak as he takes out his Caves 1 boss on down to Caves 2. And again, 2 floors behind here, but nothing's out of the question, guys, believe me. Alright, that last little bit of damage. There's that item room on Cobalt's side. Also has a golden poop here, so either money or a counterfeit penny coming out of this. Oh god, speaking of speed, how about more of it with the belt for LogCat? So he'll take the Polaroid, almost no question. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm still happy with that fire rate on technology, so leaving Cancer behind drops his fire rate in half. But again, now with with Polaroid, LogCat, if he gets hit, gets that 5-second damage shield. He's on down to his womb. God damn it, Comcast, breathe. Get through. There we go. Cool, it didn't even drop a frame. It thought about it, though. So incoming hourly frame droppage momentarily. Yeah, Polaroid plus Razor is actually kind of fun, because while you're invincible, you're upping your damage with the Razor, but again, you're not actually taking that damage, so that can be put to use. It's just a matter of being in a boss fight when you actually really want to do it. Yeah, it worked fine for me when I was doing it on myth busting. Same thing like Blood Machines and, why can I not think of their names? Demon Judges will do the same thing. You can still use them while you're invincible. It should technically be taking hearts away from you, and it thinks that it is, but it never does. Alright, LogCat's immediately found, not immediately again, but pretty close to immediately found his boss fight on Womb 1. So real quick floor here for him. And again, just dealing with Daddy Longlegs. Just have to worry about those random legs popping down. This part's not so random. This is more like Phase 3 of the Devil fight. Ooh, and the best thing you could hope for, fire rate increase again with Squeezy, let alone those 2 soul hearts for LogCat. Down to his womb 2. Curse of Darkness is going to mean dark minimap, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But again, we'll see how this plays. We've seen this before. Yeah, I was going to say, Cobalt can't actually buy that pack, but he sure wishes that he could. So he's going to use that moon card, teleport into his Seeker Room. Again, nothing special out of there. So still would really like to find a key, because he would love to get into those items. But it's being a bit of a troll to him at the moment. Give him a key. There we go. So now we don't have to worry about it anymore. Cobalt heading up for that key, and then he'll be done with his capes too, on down to his depths momentarily. But let's see what he gets here. Ooh, PhD. So like I was saying, no more unidentified pills. This is actually a kind of carry item in this type of run. Because we saw it really bite Cobalt in the butt in the first round, where he actually died to bad trip pills. That doesn't happen anymore. PhD gives you nothing but good or neutral pills at worst. And again, it actually identifies them for you after a few frames, or has a chance to. Best 2 out of 3. Alright, let's see. Let's try down to the south here on Lockcats. Oh, that might have actually been the way he came in. Indeed it was. Wow, look at this. Immediately on over into Curse of Darkness has found his boss fight. Cobalt sadly went into a challenge room there, and again, you have to pick up all passives and space use items, so Mom's panties were in there. Or Mom's underwear, technically, is the name. I'd say panties, deal with it. But anyways, that gives you nothing but range up. Again, good thing, but Cobalt has to take it, so he has to go through this challenge room now and spend a little more time here. Lockcat already working on through Mom's Heart is good, working on 50% of the way through after that Mr. Mega Bomb. And each one of those taking off 80 damage every time it lands. And just like that, he's almost down to the part where it is dead already, so 10% left for Lockcat. Again, he's got the Cathedral to worry about after this, so looking for the oh-so-unattainable Lockcat up to what could be his last floor here. Hold on to your pants, guys. Ooh, that tick. Yeah, Cobalt wants no part of that thing, I don't think, so he's leaving that behind. Would have been 15% automatic damage to boss fights, let alone healing you for a full red heart. Notice you don't have any. But again, can't replace it, so it's kind of hard to get rid of trinket spaces like that. Yep, we're going through Cathedral today, so we're racing through Isaac. You gotta kill him off to get the win. Well, being the Lockcat's only got the one bomb, I think we're gonna finish this fight. I would probably get out of here, though, if I were him. I'd just use that bomb and bomb out of this, because this is evil. This room is set up so evil, dude. Just back out. Just back out. It's so much easier. Alright, now he's got... At least Famine got himself out of that wall. Or out of the center, I should say. So this makes it a lot easier for Lockcat. I would have used that bomb to just get out of here, though. That's way too much of a pain in the butt. And again, Cobalt dealing with his steps 1 here. Still looking for that item room and boss fight. There's that charge on the pony. Again, you're invincible while you do that and damage anything in your path. So again, you're not going to basically one-hit Globins, but you knock him down out of that first stage, which makes him a heck of a lot easier to kill. If they would stop sliding around on the floor, and again, those half-red hearts, not being bros, you can't use those. And I think the game knows it, too. That's why it tends to give you, like, little Chad and Yum Heart and things of that nature when you're actually playing as Blue Baby. I swear it knows. I swear it does. Alright, Chariot card. One-time use of a Unicorn Horn there on Lockcats. And look at this. Cobalt's found himself his boss fight. So now, question is, do you make this all about trying to play catch-up? Or do you go look for that item room? Alright, Judgy please over on Cobalt's side if you guys would. Oh man, it gives him a locked chest of all things. Wow, thank you for the keys back, I guess, if nothing else. Judgy, stop giving him red hearts. He can't use those. Temperance Machine's kind of a joke, too. Come on, stop giving him crap. Alright, that Eternal Heart again, not really going to do anything for Lockcat, but it's there. Alright, thankfully Cobalt with enough bombs will be able to get through this room, so he's going to head on down to this doorway, picking up a few extras. There's that item room for him. So let's see, Cherry card far more valuable. Another dead end on Lockcat, so at least we know what way he's headed now. And again, has to replace, and not really going to cry about it, is Cobalt, but it replaces his Hourglass with, again, that Doctor's Remote, so one-time use of Epic Fetus with that. Really good damaging bomb coming out of there. Alright, Log has to go into the center here. That's an un-ID'd pill, so let's... Oh, it's actually not. That was Tears Down. He actually knew what it was. I'll be damned. So he'll work his way back out, trying not to take any stupid damage. Very nicely done. Woo, that dodge. That got a little too close there. Alright, so Steam Sale will do absolutely nothing. Would give you half off in your stores as Lockcat, but hey, there's no stores. And look at this, he's found his boss fight, so Isaac's on the other side of that door, guys. And speaking of boss fights, Cobalt ripping through his, got Razor Blade out of this one, so we see it on both sides now. We got dueling Razor Blades. Oh, gotta love it. So same thing as LogCat. If you, oh, look at that. Cobalt not happy with it. Gonna wind up resetting here, and just, I don't want to say in hopes that LogCat dies, but knowing that he wants that advantage, he's gonna wind up resetting in hopes of a good item here. But LogCat looking for the 2-0 win to knock off undefeated last year's champion. Has this one fight left to go, so clench your butts, guys. Here we go. Ooh, look at this, the wafer to start out. Cobalt's reset was very, very worth it from the looks of things. So again, half damage. Ooh. Cursed Skull, if you do take damage, this Blue Baby would teleport you out of the room. Again, trinkets you don't have to pick up, though, so he'll leave that behind. Wants no piece of that. Yeah, and of course, stupid Bob's head. It'll work, though, because again, he can launch that into the center and poison Isaac, but do you really want to put that poison tick on him and get more shots out against you? So we'll see what LogCat chooses. Yes, he does. He uses a perfect time for it, too. I really like that movement there. So as he was invincible, hucked Bob's rotten head for that poison damage bomb at, at Isaac, though down to just half a heart now. He's going to have to play this real safe. Over halfway through, though, just about to the point where it's going to be Phase 3. Using that Chariot card for the Unicorn Horn into Phase 3, and now we really have to hope for the best on LogCats. Oh man, my voice is shaking even trying to say this stuff. Oh god, that spawn. And again, out of bombs, so nothing he can do. He has to hang back as far as he can to avoid any of this stuff, like those light beams or the spawns. Wow, do they come up right up underneath you sometimes. Oh no! So there's that shot that takes him all the way back down to the beginning, and now Cobalt with a huge advantage here as he's got that wafer, is already on basement 2 with some money here. Zero. What's up, man? Alright, so new item room over on LogCat's side here. We'll see if he doesn't happen to start off his new run yet. Roid Rage, movement speed increase. Again, that is mismarked. There's no range up on that. That is pure speed increase, excuse me. Alright, so on in for a champion monstro fight here. Again, LogCat happy enough with that speed, will be moving on. Excuse me. And again, Cobalt gonna do a little bit of gambling, hoping for that key, as he'd love to get into that item room if he can. He's been having this problem all night. This game does not want to give Cobalt keys for some reason. Come on, just one key. That's all we're asking for, just one. Hey, Soul Heart out of 3-card Monty. Why, thank you. That's better than nothing. But we still want that key. The item room would be great. Game. Key. Chop chop, post haste. Yeah, we're out of money, damn it. Alright, well there goes that idea. Trying to clear out a few extra rooms here. We'll see if we can't get that key for Cobalt. Oh, by the way, don't take this personally. That is nothing against you guys. Nobody has done anything wrong. Walking Dead's about to start. Don't take that personally, but I said it's going on sub-only mode because I watch it, I'm not getting spoiled. Sorry. That is nothing against anything that has happened in here. It's just, we all know what the internet's like, and I'm putting it on sub-only mode for that because I'm not getting spoiled. I love that it still won't let you do the emote, Cerno. That's so bizarre. Anyways, both finding their boss fights here, so let's see. Log with that another Eternal Heart, so we'll wind up with another heart on the next floor, if nothing else. And gonna move on in, facing Steven. So, with Cobaltstreak on the right-hand side, exact same room. He's facing normal Monstro here. So again, better chance of something really good coming out of this for LogCat, but probably some health up inbound here for Cobaltstreak, unless he's very unlucky. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Cerno just wants to use the spaz emotes. Again, I do apologize for anybody that was chatting right there. I'm really sorry about cutting you off like that, but I just realized what time it was and that Walking Dead's about to start. So I really apologize, but yeah, hopefully you guys can understand that. Again, I apologize to anybody. That was not your faults. Believe me, nothing happened. It's just, that's the way it's going to work for me. I don't want to get spoiled, sadly. Alright, so Little Steve, the 80% chance of that actually spawning, so follower with homing tiers there for LogCat. Again, Cobalt taking just a little bit of damage there, but ain't going to be too upset by this. Again, holding on to the wafer. No matter what, he's only taking half a heart of damage. Ooh, and look at this. Item room and boss fight immediately for LogCat. Oh, look at that. How about Max's head? So nice damage up and knockback on his tiers as well. LogCat's into his his Caves 1 boss fight. Boy, if only I could tell what number of floors we were on. I don't know. It's not like they listed anywhere, like the lower left-hand corners. Jeez. It's going to be a long day for me, guys. So again, all about Cobalt finding that item room as he's already located his boss fight here on Caves 1. And if that turret would ever open, and stay open for that matter, come on turret. Dude, thanks. There we go. I was gonna say Cobalt will actually be able to get through this room, but that turret was not being a bro to him as always. This game, I swear, it knows when you're trying to go fast, and it will hold you up in some stupid ways, like that with the poop that doesn't technically exist somehow. Go figure. Anyways, a little more health up. LogCat's finished off his boss fight. On down to Caves 2. Another immediate item room, though, and does have Curse of Darkness, so no mini-map available for him. But just looking for his boss fight after this. Again, passive items, gotta take him. Had no money anyway, so 25 cents for LogCat. And again, not even gonna worry about that other penny on the ground. It's not really worth going into stores so much. But if he sees him, maybe with that money now, it's at least available to him. So we'll see how that plays. And again, there's the rules listed out in chat. Thank you, Corn. Excuse me. So if you guys haven't seen the rules yet, check out those imager links and you'll actually be able to tell what rules we're going by. They're kind of crazy tonight. Ooh, and look at this. There's that boss fight. So really short Curse of Darkness floor for LogCat. And look at that knockback immediately against Fistula. This is going to make this room a bit of a joke. And there's that item for Cobaltstreak. Look at that. All on the same hallway across left to right. Who would have thought? I mean, honestly, that doesn't happen much. That's pretty damn lucky. But again, still looking for that key to get in, so he's going to head on in here. Winds up finding a mini-boss in Lust. So if nothing else, he knows his store is a store, but he's not getting into that or his item room without a key spawning here. So Cat o' Nine Tails, shot speed increase for LogCat. Another devil deal. That band Shovels in there, so let's see those Spaz Shovels. I forgot. Sounds like a bad rip on a, oh, I can't think of their name. Bad rip on a Stain song.
Spaz Shovel.
You could change the you take away to Mew take away. We'll be here all week. Anyways, LogCat dealing with the Necropolis expansion version of his Steps 1 here. And Cobalt working on Caves 1, already pretty much done with this. Back on over to his boss fight here. Still no luck with those keys. So probably actually hoping for that that item box here, so at least he can get into his item room. But he'll take on Gertie himself. Cerno, if you go in and click on the thing on the right side of chat, does it actually let you put them in that way by chance? I'm curious. It's mystifying me. Oh, look at this. LogCat right on over to his boss fight again. Yet to find that item room here. And again, probably will head back for it. I wouldn't mind replacing the poop on LogCat's side if I were him. But again, making short work of these floors. That's a long way to backtrack, too, but I'm thinking he will, and yes, indeed he will. He wants to replace that poop, if at all possible. Nope, doesn't work. Huh, I'll be damned. No, his just flat out, like, he couldn't even talk in sub-only mode for a while, Johnny. Like, his account's glitched. I don't know what's up with it, but it's only him. And it's really weird. But I figured I'd test that, too. Like, you never know. Maybe it works. No such luck, though. That's weird. So at least we're halfway there. It's good that you can talk, if nothing else. It's weird having a silent Cerno. Like, anyone that knows Cerno, by the way, somebody link him up if you guys wouldn't. But if you guys don't know Cerno, one of the most awesome speedrunners here, really interactive with this chat, too, which is phenomenal. And, like, having a Silent Cerno would be very, very odd for me, so this feels much more natural. And again, there's that item room for LogCat. Wasn't too far out of the way. And look at this. He'll be very happy. That odd mushroom's going to cap out his fire rate, drop his damage just a little bit, but he'll be plenty happy with that. So again, capped out fire rate. He's basically a machine gun now. And on that note, let me also get a link into both of our racers chats. I don't want to just link up other people and be like, oh yeah, we got 2 racers here tonight too. But again, go also hit up LogCat and Cobaltstreak if you guys would. They both got their chats open too at the moment. So I do apologize for the sub-only mode, but Walking Dead, sorry. Anyways though, they have their chats open, so feel free to wish them both good luck. Go in and root your favorite racer on, whatever the case might be, but definitely give them both support. These guys both deserve it. Log dealing with yet another bloat fight. This has been a real popular fight this afternoon. And again, we got our Caves 2 item room over for Cobaltstreak on the right-hand side. So making quick work of this. He only has to find his boss fight now. And again, finally has keys. So he'll let on in. Yet again, that hourglass showing up. Not the best thing, but at least we replace the poop. That'll slow down time, whatever room he uses it in. And again, the one thing you have to worry about, if these things were to fire, they actually double fire on you sometimes. So you can see they're right on top of each other, but there's actually 2 shots each one of those times. So you have to be real careful when you do use that hourglass. Yeah, I don't think popular is the right word for the bloat. I think you are correct on that. That may have been a bad choice of words on my part. Foos, you got a Matchbox 20 song stuck in my head by saying that, and I hate you now. Just so you know. Damn you, Matchbox 20, and your catchy, stupid jingles. At least it wasn't John Mayer. I'm finding the bright side of this if I can. Alright, more movement speed. At least we get that Soul Heart back on LogCat's side, but that Wooden Spoon's really going to make him cruise along here. Look at that movement speed on Logs. That's almost a bit excessive as far as being able to dodge. But heading down, he's got a Curse of the Lost here on his steps too. And wow, is he moving quick. That makes it real hard to dodge. So again, one of the problems with these rule sets, you have to take every passive item. You don't just get to say, I've got enough speed, or I've got maxed out range. You have to take it anyways. So in this case, speed, a bit of a deterrent if you're not used to going fast. Dodging right into where he knocked. Again, this is the problem with Max's head, is you get that weird knockback on those Headless Horseman heads. And again, sometimes it pushes him right into your pathway. So Log got kind of cheap shotted there by his own tears. Alright, Isaac's head, nice little trinket on Cobalt's side. It's going to give him a little more damage, as that actually becomes a follower shooting out base damage tears for you. Does have piercing effect on him as well, so you notice his tears continue on through the first enemy that they hit. Alright, those unidentified pills. So Cobalt, again, rule number 3 on these is that you have to take all unidentified pills. Oh, look at that! They were telepills, and it teleported him into the next room over to the right-hand side. Round of applause, telepills. Round of applause. Nicely done. I love when stuff like that happens. That's the beauty of this game. The complete random nature of this. Log doing a really good job of that speed, let alone the knockback here as he's taking out Fistula yet again. It's not a mini-boss, but a pseudo-mini-boss, if you will. And a little bit of shot speed increase on Cobalt's side. Another Devil Deal. Guppy's Tail and the Forgive Me Now pill. I don't think you could find 2 worse items than a Devil Deal, so leaving both of those behind, because you're not going down to half a heart remaining on those crap items. So into his store here on Depths 1, Cobalt yet again going to have to deal with greed. That's at least the 4th time tonight he's found greed in his store. And there's that double shot because of Hourglass, so again, be very cautious of that. Alright, Golden Key, infinite amount of keys for the floor the LogCat's on now. And he'll continue his search for that item room and or boss fight. Yeah, let's get a Judgy, please, for Cobalt on the right-hand side. He's got plenty of money for this. Stop giving him red hearts, Judgy. That has been happening so much today to Cobaltstreak. It's almost become ridiculously unfair. Oh, speaking of that, how about these Mask, Corner, and TheLogcat? That's why I don't like these rooms. Ah, get away. Those masks are trolls. And thankfully, these are only the half-heart damaging masks, but they're still brutal. Especially with ridiculous speed like TheLogcat's got going right now. And little Steven actually being a bro, those homing shots taking out that last heart for him. There's boss fight and an arcade for that matter on TheLogcat's side. So let's see, with plenty of money, maybe we get a... Yes, we do. Fortune Machine. Thank you. Lock could really use a trinket, let alone some soul hearts coming out of that. And of all things, quite honestly, I bet you TheLogcat would really like to see some pills that might be some speed down. He would love to see a bad pill right about now. And only one, mind you, but he would love to see a bad pill. That speed down would be really, really life-saving for him right now. Oh, some Thundercats. Alright, double card's gonna be a damage multiplier. Not gonna argue that either. That'll be nice against boss fights. Come on, how about some soul hearts? Tower card would be random bomb spawn throughout the room. Soul hearts, man. That child's heart does no good for TheLogcat either. That's more chance of red heart spawns. And Cobalt playing quick catch up here. He's already in his depths 1, just getting out of this dead end room. Still looking for an item room and boss fight himself. There we go, there's one. Yeah, yay, child's heart facepalm. Ooh, look at this, actually going for that key. Woo, that movement by Cobaltstreak. I hate going for those. It can be done, as you see, but wow, do I hate doing that. And that is pixel-perfect movement, by the way. Like, that is not easy to do. I have a tough time not taking damage in those. But risky key pickup. Very nicely done, though. That was a anti-solar. Alright, at least when the machine exploded, we got some coins back, meaning a couple of bomb spawns, thanks to Burnt Penny, let alone that one soul heart as well for TheLogcat. And he's gonna go back looking for that last item.